now we need to look at our learner objectives, but this will be fun as well. So why don't you take a look at that? Clay, is the font big enough?
Mm-hmm.
Can you read the first I can statement for me?
I can learn to use more interesting words to replace common observed words
Common overused words.
by selecting nouns, action verbs, and meaningful objective.
Adjectives. Just remember we talked about adjectives a bunch. We watched the video on adjectives. Tim, can you read me the I can statement, the second one?
I can learn to use more interesting words to replace common overused.
Oh, it's the same thing. Look, and now my I can statement is repeated. The second I can statement we're working on is that we are going to learn to combine simple sentences to make more complex sentences. So what are we going to do?
Combine sentences.
We're going to combine simple sentences to make more complex sentences. For now, let's talk about this word. And this word was in our Kahoot. We talked about this word. I'm going to write it nice and big so you're able to see it, Clay Warner. What is that word?
Little.
Little. Little. And when we did little in the Kahoot, what was a word that meant the same thing as little?
Tiny.
Tiny.
Tiny meant the same thing as little. Very good. All right. You're going to need to find in your help book page 26 in your student help book. Then I'll grab yours.
Page what?
26 in your student help book.
46.
26.
I'm the champion, Clay. I saw you do. You said LeBron, dude.
Okay, there's your student help book, Clay.
Whoa.
Tim, let me grab.
Ms. Bakken,
Clay Warner.
you know why I was wearing my old glasses yesterday?
Because your new ones were broken?
And because the screws came out of these.
Okay. All right. Can you find page 26 or do you need help? You got it?
What page?
26.
So where is it?
You're doing good.
Oops. Barnacles.
You're doing good. Keep going. See, you're on 22, so you're almost there.
How many pages do I need?
Right there. Page 26.
Oh, there it is. Found it.
Okay. Little. What does little mean?
Tiny.
Little means small. Let's look at the sentences. Can you read me the first sentence, Clay?
Dinky.
No, right here. Clay, up here. Little means
Nancy,
small. Yep.
Nancy thought 5th grade is little.
Nancy, though a 5th grader, is little. Tim, you want to read me the second sentence?
Nancy thought
Though.
the refrigerator is what?
What is that word?
Did you know?
Say it.
Petite.
Petite. Good job, Clay Warner. Good. Nancy, though little, is petite. A more accurate description of her, although she is little, would be petite, because that's a word we describe small people with.
Yeah, that's kind of a French word.
It is a French word. Very good, Clay Warner.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, let's not get off topic. Let's pull back in.
Petite.
Yeah. Let's read the words in column A, B, and C together. These are all words that mean the same thing as little. Okay? Are we ready to read them together?
Yep.
Tiny.
Wait. Hang on.
Oh my.
We're going to read together. You ready? Okay. Everybody, now here we go. Tiny,
Tiny.
teeny weeny, short, petite, slight, dinky, undersized, underdeveloped, skinny, skimpy, young, brief, mini,
Mini.
miniature,
Miniature.
microscopic.
Microscopic.
Stay with me, Tim.
Tiny.
Diminutive.
Live.
Okay. Barely enough.
Barely enough.
Few.
Few.
Meager.
meager,
scant,
scant,
paltry,
poultry,
measly,
measly,
insufficient,
insufficient,
scarce.
scarce.
Okay, now although all those words mean little, they're used in different ways sometimes. You wouldn't say the children were scarce, because that would mean there weren't any children. You would say the children were small, because they are small in stature. If you meant little in the fact that you had little food, you would say food is scarce. Do you understand the difference? Right, Clay, do you understand the difference?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We are going to look at these words, and something I want to give you a hint. I want to give you a clue, because we're going to do our paragraph, right? Our paragraph where we replace the word little with more interesting words. Sometimes it's used in a different tense. Sometimes we say littler or littlest, right?
Right.
You sometimes say littler or littlest. So would you replace littler with small, or would you replace it with smaller?
Smaller.
Very good. How about littlest? Would you replace it with little, or would you replace it with small or smallest?
What do you think, Clay? Small. Small.
Would you do small or would you do smallest?
Smallest.
You want them to have the same word ending. Remember when we talked about word endings? You want them to have the same word ending. So let's try another one. Now listen, if I had the word littler, which is a form of little, and I wanted to replace it with a form of young, what would you say?
Youngest.
It was littler though. What would you do? Young,
Yes. Youngest.
but it was littler.
Oh, younger.
Younger, very good. How about if it was littlest?
Youngest.
Youngest, very good. How about, here's another one, I'm going to test you. What are you going to replace shorter with?
Shortest.
Or no,
Shorter.
littler if you were going to replace it with a short word. Shorter, right. How
Yeah.
about littler, then would it be short,
Shorter.
short,
S.
est. So, same word ending, E-R-E-S-T. So it's going to come up in our paragraph. All right, let's look at our paragraph. Made it nice and big for you.
What color?
Okay, right here. Let's look at our
Oh, you
paragraph.
made it big.
I did make it big. I'm going to read it. I want you to follow along. Notice that the word little is used a lot. Makes our paragraph boring.
That makes sense.
It doesn't make it boring to me.
Okay, well, we're going to listen. You ready? 3 little children walked to the lake. They were amazed to see thousands of little brown toads on the shore. The children had never seen toads so little. The littlest child ran all around, grabbing the toads. She tried and tried, but never caught one. Okay, so you needed to keep your help book open, so here's your help book. Let's look at the first crossed out little. It says, 3 little children walked to the lake. Page 26. What's a word you could use instead of little? 3 what kind of children walked to the lake? What could you say instead? Look at your help list. Look at your help list, Clay. What could you use instead of little?
Small.
Small. So you want to go ahead and get a pencil and replace that little with small. How about you, Tim? What would you use instead?
I don't know. Small.
You'd use small as well?
I love pins.
I know you do.
What? Where'd you get that red pin?
I don't know. I know you love pens. That's good. Okay, so you want to replace this little with small? Go ahead and do that, please. Go ahead and do that, please. Replace that little with small.
Where?
The first little that's crossed out. Replace it with small. Okay, let's do one more together. Okay? They were amazed to see thousands of little brown toads on the
Small.
shore. Okay, but if we replace this little with small, our paragraph will be just as boring. Can we pick a different word that's small?
The smallest toads.
Okay, but we're going to keep our word endings the same. Look at your word list. Look at your help book. Tim, look at your help book. What kind of toads do you want them to be? Instead of little, what's a word that means the same thing but is not small?
Teeny.
Teeny.
Tiny.
Tiny. Good job. So you want to go ahead and do that now?
This one?
Teeny has two E's here. T-E-N-Y.
I did.
Okay. You have T-E-N-E. T-E-E-N-Y. Okay? Okay.
Ms. Bakken,
Alright.
can I get in a drink?
No, you just got one. Alright. So I want you to see there are two more crossed out littles in that paragraph. One says the children had never seen Toad so little. And then it says the littlest child ran all around. So remember that clue about word
Mary
endings.
Bertelson to the office, please.
So remember that clue about word endings. So please, I want you to replace these independently on, which means on your own. Replace them independently on your own, and then we'll talk about it. So you pick out a word. You pick out a word from the word list. But remember the word ending clues. If this ends in EST, your new word has to end in EST. You got it? Clay, you got it?
Yeah.
Okay. So pick out two new words and two unique words. You don't want to use small or teeny again.
Dinky.
Well, that's why you're supposed to look on.
Dinky.
Okay, that's why you're supposed to look on your word list.
Well, look, I might find one, a good one.
And then after you pick one, read the sentence again to yourself so that you make sure it makes sense. Read it again to yourself so you make sure it makes sense.
Hey, bumping me.
It's okay. We can spread down just a little bit. There we go. No bumps now. So look at your help book, Tim, and pick out another word that means the same thing as little
Dinky.
that makes sense in the sentence.
What?
Dinkiest child.
That makes sense.
Okay. Make sure you did you do this one? You put that one out here, you meant to put it here, it's okay, but do this one.
Smallest.
Okay, is that say littlest though, or does that just say little?
Little.
Okay, so read the sentence. They were amazed to see thousands of little brown toads. What's another word to replace that little?
Short.
Are they short toads? Because toads aren't necessarily usually.
Wait, skimpy.
Would they be skimpy though? Does that make the most sense in your sentence?
Yes.
Skimpy usually means like a
Mini.
smaller. Mini would work. Mini would work.
Well, I can't think of what I put
Mini.
for this one.
What are you gonna put for that one? Another way to say the littlest child.
I just said that.
I know. What would it be? Look on your list.
I did. What letter is going to be in? What? What are you pointing to?
Well, what do you think?
That
Any of
one?
those? Yeah, that would work. But you wouldn't. How are you gonna end it? It has to end in EST.
Ms. Bakken.
Okay. Let's compare and share. Let's share and compare. Shall we? Who wants to go first?
Hello. I said it first though.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
How about
Yeah, I did.
I think you shared first yesterday, Tim. Why don't we go ahead and let Clay share first today? It'll be all right. So we're going to be a good listener. Clay's going to read us his new paragraph with his new, more interesting words in it.
3 small children walked to the lake. They were amazed to see thousands of mini brown toads on the shore. The children had never seen toads so teeny. The dinkiest child ran all around grabbing at the toads. She tried and tried, but she never caught one.
That's a great job. That's a good job. You had 4 unique words. You didn't repeat yourself, and they all made sense. Tim, you want to read your paragraph?
Ms. Bakken, can we eat in the wind today?
Let's go.
Nice.
Because we eat out in the lunchroom with our friends. On special occasions, we get to eat in the room. Here you go. Read your paragraph, please.
Me. The 3 small children walked to the lake. They were amazed to see thousands of tiny brown toads on the shore. The children had never seen toads so short. The youngest child ran.
Keep going, you're doing good. Keep going, you're doing good.
Ran all around grabbing at the toads. Clay, what are you doing?
Okay, you need to be a good listener right now. So go ahead and keep reading.
She tried and tried, but never caught.
Good job, good job.
Ms.
Now,
Bachman.
we're not interrupting right now. Tim did an awesome job. This was really good. But we kind of talked about, it says the children had never seen toads so short. Are toads small in stature like people, or
Yeah.
are they small like little creatures?
Small like little creatures.
So Tim, why don't you go ahead and change that and pick out a better word than
Ms.
short?
Bakken, I want you to listen to mine.
You already did, Clay.
But you already read yours, dear. No, Clay, don't read
Small.
Clay. Don't read it again.
You know what I put?
I saw what you put, but we're not going to be silly with our
LeBron.
paragraph. Yeah, I see you named your
Toads.
LeBron, but that's not what we're going to do right now. Okay?
Where?
Okay, Tim. Tim, you need to focus, dear, and come up with a new word other than short. Tim, you need to focus and come up with another word other than short, please.
Think of one.
Sure. What would you call frogs if you saw, or toads? If you saw little toads, what's another word you could use instead of little?
I don't know.
You used tiny, and that was excellent. That was a great job. What's another word that would be similar to tiny but not short?
Which one though?
You tell me. What kind of toads are they going to be? Tiny was great.
I like this one
No, not necessarily skinny.
though. I think of one. I can't think of one.
Ms. Bakken, is this period almost over?
This one?
Yeah, what is that word?
I don't know.
What is that word? I've never seen toads so. How about teeny? Or how about dinky? Any of those work?
Where?
How about teeny or dinky? Will any of those words work? Will that work better? I bet that sounds better when you're talking about toads, other than calling them short toads. You think?
You know what Mr. Wolf said first thing when I walked in this morning?
What did it say?
He said that my shoes are way shinier than his are, and that they match.
You look very sharp, Clayborn. Tim, go ahead and get that written down so we can go on to sharpening.
Do I look like it?
Yes, sit down. Tim, go ahead and write that down so that we can go on to polishing your sentences, to our sentence combining.
Where's our Climax, Ms. Bakken?
Right up there on the shelf. Good job. Use some hand sanitizer too.
I know.
Good job. Good job. Okay, let's move on. Are you ready, Clay? Come on back.
Come on, Clay, my man.
Okay.
Where's my man? Okay, that works.
Let's look at part B. Look at part B. We're polishing your sentences. Yep. Not right now though. We're combining sentences. We're combining simple sentences to make more complex sentences. So let's look at the first example. Tim, can you read me the start sentence? Can you read me the start sentence?
Matthew saw many farm animals at the fair.
Matthew saw many farm animals at the fair. Clay, can you read the first add sentence?
The fair was something.
What is that word?
An animal.
Annual. So before we go
Annual.
on, we need to talk about what that word means. What does annual mean? Tim, do you know, dear?
I don't know.
Annual means it's something that happens every year. Like your birthday, Clay. It is annual. It happens once every year. And your birthday, Tim, it happens once every year. What else happens once every year? What only happens once a year?
Basketball season.
Basketball season is annual. It happens once a year. What else, Tim?
Skateboard season.
I don't know if there's a real skateboard season. I don't know. I guess there could be. How
No,
about
for like spring.
how about holidays? What are some holidays that only happen once a year?
Christmas,
That only-
Thanksgiving.
They only happen
Wait,
once.
actually,
Okay,
I meant to say Turkey Day.
they only happen once per year, right? Holidays, most holidays once per year. There's one Christmas each year.
Like-
There's one Thanksgiving each year. Now, how about in Polk City? What do we have every summer? What's that called?